Monday, so just anybody here can just go like, because I can't quite hear. I'm gonna be not too loud, but in case I'm like this and I'm talking, just give me that. I'm very excited to be here. This is such a lovely, small, great experience. I was on a 38-day tour straight without one day off for this godforsaken book, and oftentimes I didn't get to really feel like I was reading to people. I felt like I was reading at people, and that fucking sucks. And it was nice tonight to be able to actually sit down and hear people read, and to actually hear and absorb people's violence, which is always a lovely experience. So I'm an actress, and I said that like I'm at AA. You guys have AA here, right? That's real. Okay. You can all say, "Hi, Amber. I'm an actress." Hi, Amber. That's fucking sad. I started acting when I was 11 years old. I was on a soap opera in the States in Los Angeles for 7 years, and I'm now 32, and I've been acting every single day since I was 11 years old, up until about 5 years ago. This book is a study about the lives and deaths of child star actresses. So pretty much anybody you've ever read about, that you've known about, or people you don't know as well, is in this book, is an exploration of this book. I'm going to read just a couple pieces from it. There's also my experiences and poems about my own experience growing up in the business and being born and raised in Los Angeles and being a third generation from there, which I am. I live in New York for the most part. London sometimes. My husband works out here, so. Untitled actress. Submission calls for an actress mid to late 20s. All ethnicities acceptable, except Asian American, Caucasian preferable. Must read teen on screen, thin, but not gaunt, lean. Quirky, but not unattractive, no brown eyes. Not taller than 5'5". Weight no more than 109. That's actually in pounds. Actress should have great smile, straight teeth a must. Must be flexible, small bust a plus. Can do own stunts, will waive rights to image, likeness, publicity, final stunts. Roll calls for nudity. Roll calls for simulated sexual intercourse. Roll calls for role play with lead male. No stand-in avail. Role pays scale. Character is shy yet codependent, searching for love in all the wrong men. Character confides in others at her own risk. Character's fatigued and hollow, suffers from self-doubt, a sense of worthlessness. Character learns the hard way to believe in herself. No brown eyes. Character finally finds happiness when she meets Brad, a successful older businessman. 5'5". Logline. A woman fights to save her soul. Think a young Carol Lombard meets a younger Anna Nicole. Requires an actress that will leave an audience speechless, who's found her creative voice, not a speaking role. Lee Tobler. When you find a skull in the woods, do you leave it alone because it disturbs you, or do you leave it alone because of what's still living inside? There's going to be some people here you don't recognize. Some of them are fake too, but we'll see what happens. Jane Doe. Why do you insist on wearing that sugar coat in the July of your life? Why don't you feel more like a riot and less like the cops? I want to look you in the shards. Go down on your cliche until your taboo kabooms. What's the point of sobriety? When you can be the cherry on top, when you can put confetti in the condom and pussy pop in clogs and wrap yourself in Christmas lights. What's the point of playing it safe when you can make a tambourine out of any two objects? or wrestle the Ayn Rand impersonator for her flask. I did do that once at a festival, seriously, when I was pretty wasted. Or better yet, put the straw directly into the bottle, avoid the apocalypse altogether. Tell me, what's the point of sweating the details when I can just purchase the theremin online? So let's drop the socialization charade. This life is too short, and the only way to extend it is with a skirt that's too short. And a reminder for any man's wandering eyes that I shit out of that. I'm not interested in going out with a bang. I'm interested in going out with your father. I agree. I want to teach you how to make origami from a page by Frank O'Hara. Fortune fuck 100. Let's get undressed in each other's mouths. Skinny dip lips. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. That's just the revolution talking. That's just the Sunday I'm gonna answer your prayers with. And this is a film I could finally get cast in. So I don't ever read this piece, but some of the pieces that you guys spoke tonight, and I'm terrified to memorize poems. Like it's a real, I'll throw up if I try, if I ever have. And in the States, like going to any slams or anything, I have such admiration for friends of mine that do it. So when I see you get up here and recite your pieces, it's like I have so much respect for that. For me, memorizing things is a severely emotional reaction, and my whole life growing up as an actress, you memorized to forget. And these I can't forget. This experience of growing up in an industry that was treated me as an object my entire life, a sexual object, and memorizing those things is not something I understand. So when I see people able to do it, I wish I had the relationship with memorization that poets did. And so I have such honor and love for people that do that. It's really beautiful. This piece I'm going to read you is the accident piece in this book because it has nothing to do with actresses or any of that stuff. But a couple years ago, and you can Google this shit, it's insane, I was put on an email chain totally by accident. I was CC'd with a bunch of famous people. Steve Jobs, I mean, it was insane. Tyrese Gibson, Shia LaBeouf, all of these people, and that happens every once in a while to anybody maybe. And Tyrese Gibson just saw my name, and my middle name is Rose, so he thought that I was Wiz Khalifa's ex, the model, Amber Rose, and he emailed me on the side, and he said, "Yo, I got you on this album." And I was like, what? What? And I forwarded it to my friend. I was like, Tyrese Gibson is fucking emailing me. What's going on? And I did not understand. It was like way over my head. Went over my head. And my friend said, oh, she's been talking about doing an album, so he wants to produce it. I was like, oh, shit. So we sent emails back and forth, and I realized, I was like, wow, this is so masculine to just email someone out of the blue and just assume that there's only one Amber Rose in the entire world that could possibly be on this fucking chain. I've got some demos for you. I've got some feminist demos that basically fucked with him over the course of 2 weeks. You can Google it. I mean, it's known, and the songs are as well. And I would take my phone and I would hold it up to an SWV song or something like that. And I'd be like, I'm doing splits on your face, splits on your mouth, splits on your eyelids, splits on your unibrow. Why can't I find it? Why can't I I mean, just fucking around short raps. To which he would reply and go, this is not even remotely it. You need to come into the studio. I'm like, hang on. Here's one about how contraception matters. So he would just, we had these back and forth for a long time. And it happened to come during a time, is this on? Yes. It happened to come during a time when, and I feel like this piece is relevant just because of some of the things that were read tonight and spoken about tonight. during a hugely political point for women in the United States. A time in which a woman named Sandra Fluke got up and spoke publicly about how the United States does not support or pay for women's birth control, yet the United States also pays for Viagra for men. That's a funded thing by the United States, but contraception is not funded. Even though contraception is not always about sex, it has to do with hormone balance. It has to do with so many fucking things. And she was sort of demoralized because of that. And